find it crazy how many people are leaving Dallas, Texas, and moving to Albuquerque, New Mexico, just because of these few simple things, guys. And in today's video, we're going to be going into a little bit of a detail, giving you guys the inside scoop on why more people are leaving Dallas, Texas, and moving to places like Albuquerque, New Mexico. So hang tight, grab your pen and your pad, and let's go. So leaving Dallas, Texas is probably not going to be an easy decision because it is one of the larger cities in the United States and it has so much to offer, right? But there's a ton of you guys, especially if you're watching this video, that are starting to feel the stress of those larger cities, right? Whether it's, population increases, congestion, lifestyle changes, or, you're just tired of it and you want something different, right? You want somewhere where it's going to be a little bit more slower pace. The climate's way different. You get to experience all four seasons here, and it's mild. It's not going to be anything crazy. And housing is still somewhat affordable, even for a new home. Then that's going to be more of a reason for you guys to move down here to, Albuquerque, New Mexico. So with that being said, one of the big topic conversations that I have, especially when, we have these conversations over Zoom, is going to be the climate. A ton of people are moving to Albuquerque because of the climate. We don't experience, these crazy temperatures, especially with the humidity that Dallas has, to where it's going to feel unbearable to go outside, right? It does get hot here, but imagine it being 90 degrees, almost 100 degrees, and it's humid, like it feels worse. And I can just imagine how unbearable that is, walking around with the towel because you're constantly sweating, taking a shower and feeling immediately wet after. Like, I'd rather feel the New Mexico dryness and have to put on, lotion just because, hey, my skin is dry and it needs to be nourished, versus feeling nasty and sticky like I've been sweating even after a shower. So it's funny that I had a conversation like that with a recent buyer who was moving down here from Dallas, and they said, yeah, we're tired of just that alone. And that alone is enough for somebody to move, guys. And I got to remind you that if this is your first time tuning into the Living in Albuquerque channel, my name is Eli. Feel free to hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom. That way you guys never miss out on any videos, because I am dropping videos every week talking about what this beautiful city of Albuquerque and state of New Mexico have to offer. Now, aside from doing these amazing videos for you guys and hanging out for a bit with you, I am also a licensed broker here in the state of New Mexico. And as much as I love doing this, I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. So that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. I am the one that answers all the calls, texts, and emails. And if you are planning on moving down here within the next 90 days, shoot, even the next year, we'd love to help you out with that move to make sure that you're getting all the best knowledge about Albuquerque before you make that decision. It's a funny fact that work-life balance comes into the mix of all this, right? You would understand that living in Dallas, you probably have a good mix of work and play, but there's the opposite side where people just want to work and chill. And that's what Albuquerque is. Albuquerque, for the most part, is going to be an area where you are going to be doing pretty much chilling after work, right? Because we don't have a whole bunch of things to do like Dallas does, right? They got the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, all these other, great things that you can enjoy and do. Not saying that we don't have things to do here in Albuquerque, but the truth of the matter is that if you're looking for a slower pace, kind of like this balance of, sanity and peace after you've been working all day and kind of busting your butt off, Albuquerque is going to be a better fit for you guys. Not only that, but because Dallas gets looped in with the Fort Worth area, so it becomes a DFW. And it is one of the larger cities in, the southern United States. A lot of the commuting that you do to and from work is going to be long, right? You're going to need a vehicle just because some of the stretches from work to home are going to be up to anywhere from an hour and a half to 2 hours. Here in New Mexico, if you're in traffic for that long, somebody died on the freeway. Like, I'm just being honest with you guys. That's really the only occasion where you're really getting stuck on the freeway for that long. Worst case scenario, you're spending an extra 30 to 45 minutes. So in all actuality, it's going to be about an hour, in some days when you are in heavy traffic. And there's ways to avoid it. We've had those conversations on this channel too, where it's like, hey, we kind of have an idea of where you would want to live if you do want to avoid traffic altogether, because you still can. We're still one of the cities that aren't overpopulated, where it doesn't feel like this overwhelming sense of kind of like this loom of that city life that just feels like it's always in a rush. And I could just imagine living in one of the largest cities in the southern United States. That vibe is real, right? And nothing against it, right? Time and place. But for us New Mexicans, it's not for us. And a lot of you Texans that are looking to be New Mexicans, you can pick up what I'm putting down. And aside from the driving with the work-life balance, right, there's going to be a ton of free things to do. I was surprised to know that in Dallas alone, there's about 400 parks. Albuquerque, being a fraction of the size, has about 300 plus. So in comparison, we got way more outdoor things to do here, in my opinion, because aside from all the like residential parks that we have in national parks, we also have all these trails that connect every neighborhood within the city, believe it or not. It's pretty crazy. And then once you get into like the mountains and get out to the petroglyphs and drive 45 minutes out to like Jemez or to Santa Fe, you're gonna have way more outdoor things to do. So there's never a lack of that outdoor lifestyle and that outdoor experience, and you know, being able to enjoy the landscaping without having all this urban feel is going to be very valuable. And you may be thinking to yourself, Eli, there's, you know, nobody lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's only like a Looney Tunes thing, isn't it? Kind of, but that's more of a reason why you should live here, because we're not overpopulated, right? DFW, right, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, has about 8 million people living there. Albuquerque, New Mexico, the greater Albuquerque area, has about 1.2, 1.3 million people, and it's so spread out that it doesn't even feel like it's overpopulated, to be honest with you, in some areas. Shoot, I mean, driving in from work this morning, even sometimes late at night, the streets are empty, right? And some of these areas would be considered like busy areas. And when you see that coming from a larger city, because I used to live in New York and the roads were always busy, seeing that just gives you a sense of relief to know that you're going to have easy commutes to work. You're not going to be dealing with this whole frustration of people always on the road. And even during the day, right, we only have 2 high traffic hours, right? That's 7 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon. People are going to and from work. Outside of that, even during like holidays, guys, feels like people just kind of deserted the city because they go out and camp, right, to like Elephant Butte, Pecos, Jemez, all these great places that are super close to us. So that overpopulation of cities really weighs a lot on people, right? Because people are starting to really get into this era of where they get overstimulated, right, with all the electronics and everything that we always have in our face. Having that sense of just relaxation, of not having to deal with people all the time, means a lot to somebody. More of a reason to move down here, guys. Now, my favorite part of this whole video is being able to walk you guys through a rent cafe and just kind of give you guys an upfront view of what you're looking at as far as like cost of living goes, affordability in housing, all that stuff, right? To really paint the picture and give you a sense of what you're looking at in numbers, because that's important. If you're moving to a whole new area and it's going to cost you just about the same, if not more, does that make sense? So let's hop into the Rent Cafe, take a look at what we got going on, and then we'll hop back in here. All right, guys, hopping into this Rent Cafe, just kind of taking a look at everything that we have here, right off the bat. We can see that to move to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and live the same life that you're living out in Dallas, if you are making $100,000, you're only going to need to make about $10,000 less. So very comparable, very similar, and even down to the rents, right? The average rent in Dallas, Texas, you're looking at about $1,500. Albuquerque's about 13. So really taking a look at the general aspect of things here is that there's not a whole heck of a difference here when we're talking about affordability in this sense here. Where it's really going to matter is down here when we're looking at the average home prices, right? The average home price in Dallas, Texas is around $471,000. In Albuquerque, it's around $392,000. It's actually $350,000, and Dallas, Texas is around $450,000. Rent Cafe just blows it up just a little bit, just to kind of give you a grand aspect of the things that are going on here. Now, all these other little things here, these nuances, right? Utilities a lot cheaper, food is going to be a little bit cheaper, healthcare is going to be tremendously cheaper here, and then of course transportation. I don't know why it says it's higher when the art bus is free. And then income, of course, is going to be a little bit lower because you don't need to make a whole lot of money here to sustain a good living. So taking this in as a whole, you can just feel that, hey, if making the same amount of money isn't going to make a whole heck of a difference, and this is where it's really going to matter, especially when my mortgage is going to be, almost $500 to $800 less. Is that enough for you to actually make the move to save $800 a month and maybe potentially save a little bit more with utilities and what you're going to be spending on going out and stuff? Because we do live a chiller pace of life, and most of the stuff that you do here is going to be free. I don't know. That's something to think about, and that's something that we can discuss. Again, guys, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. Feel free to reach out. That way we can get into a little bit more in-depth conversation based off of your personal situation. Man, the numbers look great, right? And you can tell why more people are moving down here, right? I hope that painted the comparison for you guys. But on the same side of money, when it comes down to the economy and the job market here, it's not as big as Dallas is, but it's one of those things that you kind of want to get in while the getting is good, right? And that's the whole reason a lot of people in healthcare, tech, renewable energy resources, and, other subsectors of work are starting to move down here, like Los Alamos, Sandia Labs, Intel, those kinds of things. And as great as Dallas is, sometimes it feels like there's a ton of competition for those kinds of jobs. And, of course, the overpopulation, you are going to have way more people competing for, one single job, to whereas in Albuquerque, you're really only going to be competing with a few people. And some of these jobs, it's crazy to me that are vacant. Not a lot of people want to do them. So if you got a great skill and you can't find a job, you may want to look at Albuquerque because they may hire you pretty much on the spot. I don't know, but I see it happen all the time. And it's a really good reason to move down here, right? To seek opportunities, to be able to seek out more pay, because some of these jobs that nobody wants to do and nobody's qualified to do them here within the city because they only have the schooling out there in Dallas, Texas, may present a great opportunity for you to change your whole life around. I don't know what it is, but that's a whole nother key reason why people are moving down here. It's because of the growing job market. And it may not seem like a lot, but like I said, it's one of those things that you're getting it while the getting is good before it's not available in cities like Dallas, Texas. So something to think about. As we're getting closer to the end, a topic that I like to talk about, and you hear it all the time, is, the outdoor lifestyle, right? And I want to throw in that we're kind of an eco-friendly kind of city, and that adds a whole overpopulation thing as well. With less people than Dallas living here, the air feels cleaner, and maybe that's important to you, right? You're tired of dealing with all the pollution and, heavy sense of humidity in the air. And you need that little bit of dryness, and you need that clean, crisp air. Shoot, some places that you go to, even like in the East Mountains, the air quality it's like clean. It's crazy. Like you can tell as soon as you wake up in the mornings and take that breath of fresh air. I don't know if you guys have ever been camping, but if you go outside and you just take a nice breath of fresh air, that's what Albuquerque feels like in the morning, to be honest with you guys. It's awesome and it's nice. Because when I lived in New York, man, I didn't get that at all. I really felt the heavy smog and pollution. And when I came back, I was like, man, you can really tell the difference in the air quality here. So getting back to the whole outdoors thing, it's going to be a big part of your life here. If you're a big outdoor enthusiast, you like rock climbing, you like hiking, you like biking trails, you just like going down to a river walk and just enjoying nature, Albuquerque is going to be it. Now, in comparison, we do have a lot more open space in these nature areas, and the accessibility to these places isn't terrible. Shoot, a lot of Texans travel to New Mexico just to get in the outdoors. Believe it or not, they're traveling to places like Taos, Ruidoso, Red River, just because where they're at, as big as Texas is not as easy to get to, and they're kind of a mixed area, right? They got a lot of Great Plains, they got, you know, some mountain areas, but they're far away from Dallas, Texas, and sometimes coming to New Mexico is a lot easier. So that's a whole nother reason why people fall in love with New Mexico that are from Texas, because they're spending more time here anyways, so they might as well just move here. It's even funny that I'm bringing up this topic conversation to end this video, guys, and it's gonna be like the cultural events and stuff like that that Dallas has to offer. It feels very one-sided from, you know, my own perspective, from what I've seen and what I've heard. It seems like it's a big kind of like Dallas Cowboys community. So you got this whole football thing, you got the AT&T Stadium, right, of course, that hosts like concerts and stuff like that, which is generic, right, because they're just artists traveling through, and it's not really something that's proponent to Dallas. You guys got barbecue, which is, I guess, like a southern Texas thing, but in New Mexico, we have all of that. We have our own music, our own culture. We got the balloon fiesta, largest balloon fiesta in the whole United States and, you know, the world. We got green chili. We got fiestas during the summer and the spring. We got so much cultural events that are really pertinent to New Mexico and Albuquerque that you're not going to be able to get it anywhere else. And if you want Texas barbecue, we got Texas barbecue. If you want, you know, Chinese food, we got Chinese food. If you want some bomb tacos and some bomb Mexican food, we got that. East Indian food, you want Greek, you want Mediterranean, we got it all. I think Greek and Mediterranean are the same thing, but really to kind of hit on a point for you guys is that we're going to be this big melting pot of culture, and it's going to be easily accessible to anybody, and really inviting, you know, going to these certain events and doing these certain things that are happening within the city. You're not even going to feel like an outsider. You're going to feel like somebody who's lived here forever, because that's how welcoming it is. And I know sometimes you Dallas fans, I'm talking about the Cowboys, you guys get pretty crazy, but we have a lot of those here. Like 80% of New Mexico is a Dallas Cowboys fan. So we got a love-hate relationship with you guys. Not that we want people to leave Dallas, Texas, but really shedding a light to the whole topic of conversation, because we are having a conversation more and more often. And people want to know, Eli, you're a professional. You're somebody that's helping people move. What do you think, based off of the conversations that you've had, that you can kind of elaborate on that could help us in making this decision? And it's coming down to, if you're tired of overpopulated cities, you want a slower pace of life, you want a little bit of more of affordable life, quality of life goes up with all that, right? So if you want a better quality of life, you don't want to feel like you have to commute for hours from home to work, we might want to have the conversation, guys. And again, that number popping up on the screen is my direct line. And as much as I love doing this, I would love to help you out with your real estate needs. I would love to help you make the best decision for you and your family if you are planning on moving down here from Dallas, Texas. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day, guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Hit me up if there's anything I can help you out with. Peace.